Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. It's been a hot minute. My husband was in training for the last month and let's just say it's been rough. I've been with the kids by myself 12 to 14 hours a day, trying to take care of the house and the kids and everything. So I took a little break, obviously, but I'm back and with a book tag. So I am doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Yeah, and I did it last year, so I will link that below if you guys want to go see last year and compare it to this year. And otherwise, I'm going to finish my glasses and then we're just going to get started. Just as a disclaimer, you'll notice I'm not really holding any books up, even though I've got like loads of books behind me. I mostly use the audiobooks. I have been using or reading a lot more physical books, but even those I get from the library, so I may not have them when I record a video. So if you're new here, that's why I don't. Other people, you know, I'm a library and audiobook person, although I do own like my favorites, and I'm a sucker for one of those bag book sales, you know. Anyway, so first question is, what is the best book that you've read this year? And my answer would be Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Wait, let me double check his name. Shusterman, yes. And I only really read this book because of all the hype. And I don't usually let hype for books get to me, but it sounded so good. It is about a world where death is no longer an issue. Like, we're in the mortality age. So in order to control the population, they have scythes who have to, they're the only people who take lives. There are certain people with that job. So just that alone sounded so good. And when I read it, I was blown away. Like, honestly, so far, guys, to date, that's the best book that I've read this year. Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel you've read this year? My answer is China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. I honestly only picked up the book Crazy Rich Asians because I saw the movie trailer for it and I heard it was a book. Like, I've heard a couple people talk about it and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try it because, guys, leave my camera alone. Because if it's good enough to make it into a movie, I want to read the book first because the movie trailer looks really good. I'm going to see it. I can't wait. I picked that book up and I loved it. Honestly, I thought about putting this series as my answer to number 1. But Scythe is more in my genre. Like, I like the sci-fi, dystopian and stuff, but this was hilarious. Oh my gosh, it is so funny. And I've read the first 2. I still haven't read the 3rd. I keep saying I need to. I will get to it eventually. Question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet but that you want to? And I do have this on Audible. I just haven't started it yet, but that would be Smoke in the Sun by Renee Adine. And that is the sequel to The Mist and the Flame, which was really good. You'll notice that I'm like really into Asian like set stories this year. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're good. And the next one's actually hilarious. Question number 4 is the most anticipated sequel for this year. And this kind of wins by default because I'm currently reading Death by Dumpling, and that is by Vivian Chen. But it's the only, like, after this comes the book, sorry, I'll give you the name of it, Dim Sum of All Fears. Yes, this is a play on words, Asian culture. It's like, it's funny, and the covers are cute, and I'm in the middle of the first one. So this one kind of wins by default because there's no sequel this year besides that one. But I will say I'm enjoying the first one, but we'll see. I'm gonna read it because unless this one all of a sudden like goes, I'm like halfway through, so unless it like goes downhill really quickly and I like hate it, I'm gonna read that. That's the only sequel I have coming out this year. This one's gonna shock some people. But question number 5 is, what is the biggest disappointment of this year? And I own this one because it's my favorite series in the world. I only have the dust jacket. The book is downstairs, so sorry. That would be A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. And I wouldn't say this was a complete waste of time, but it was kind of a waste of time because it was like a novella, or I'm sorry, it was played off as like a little bit bigger than a novella or something like that. It was like 150 pages. I read it in like an hour and like a couple hours. It was nice to get to revisit our characters that I love, you know, Rhysand, Feyre, everyone. It was really nice getting another glimpse in. And it was cute because it was like around Christmas time, around winter solstice. So I wouldn't say it was like terrible, but I truly believe that I feel like she just put that book out to like placate people. Placate. Because she's like, it would appear to me, I don't know, maybe I'll get like roasted for this, but whatever. She seemed to be putting all of her eggs into, or all of her attention into Throne of Grass. That's nice. The Throne of Glass series, because I know it is ending soon. I think this year the last book comes out. I'm not 100% sure. I have not read that series yet. But, so I think she was just throwing something out there, and she didn't really have the time or energy to like give us an actual book or like substance, because like I said, she was working the other series. But to be honest, I would have rather gotten nothing and waited a little bit longer for the book, because this book was pushed back. I know it was like pushed back a couple times, and I would have rather gotten nothing, to be honest, because it just made me like, meh. Like it, and there was foreshadowing, but it was like, there's foreshadowing and then there's like spoiler. She basically told us what's about to happen in the next book. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like a cliffhanger, but it's actually annoying. That's what it is to me. Anyway, so there's my tangent on that. Oops. All right, and this one is question number 6. What is the biggest surprise book-wise? So like, what book did I read thinking it was probably gonna be like meh, but it like shook me, okay? And that is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks. I actually like this book so much, I might go out and purchase the hard copy of it so I can own it. It was amazing. Okay, it was really good, and I feel like if I talk about it, it'll spoil stuff, because there were twists and turns that I like can't erase from my mind. And there's a couple of things that happened that I was like, what? No. And so I'm not gonna really delve into it, but you should check it out. It was like, wow, it was crazy. All right, and so question number 7 is, who is your favorite new or new to me author? And that would be Neil Shusterman, who wrote Scythe. So I'm looking forward to his other books. And question number 8 is your new fictional crush, or do you have a new fictional crush from this year? Yes. But I only put him on here because he's the only guy out of all the books that I've read that I could see being like a crush. And that is Kel from A Darker Shade of Magic, the trilogy. I really did love his character, and yeah, he would be there, but he is no Rhysand. Okay, I've got those slots filled, but if I was in their world, I'd be on it. Okay. And question number 9, who is your new favorite fictional character? And that would be Citra from Scythe. I love her personality, and her just attitude for life. She's very optimistic, and yeah, I just really connected with her as a character. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. I haven't cried yet this year, okay? Like, I don't cry very often with books. I saw a review from someone, it's on my TBR, that they said they actually cried, and they are not criers. So I'm going to pick that one up later this year, but the one book that really, it got me like emotional, and it bothered me, like I felt it in my soul, the sadness, and that is Almost Missed You by Jessica Strasser. And this one, it wasn't a freebie, but it was like, on Audible they run like promotions and stuff, and so I read all the synopsis of all the books, and I picked that one. And I was looking for something to read, and I was not in the mood for fantasy or sci-fi, so I picked this one, and it was surprisingly really good. I trying not to spoil it, like I'm not going to, but I will tell you, I know the synopsis says, so you, like the Violet, the main character, she's married to her husband. They've been married for like 7 or 8 years, and they have a son. And they're on vacation one day, and while Violet is at the beach reading or like getting some quiet time, you know how us moms need that, her husband takes her son and disappears. And it's like a huge entanglement with their best friend and another. It's very, but what got me was like the thought of my child being taken. Yeah, that got me super emotional, and that is why I can't imagine. Question 11 is a book that made you happy. And to answer that one, it's almost embarrassing. Okay, let me just tell you. It's called The Kiss Quotient, and it is by Helen Huang. And it is just like so predictable. There's a main character. Okay, I guess it's not that predictable. She has Asperger's, so she's on the autism spectrum, but she's very uncomfortable around people. She wants to become more comfortable with intimacy, so she hires an escort, and his name is Michael, and he sounds like just dreamy, and but she hires him as like a tutor, and it's literally just like a business transaction to her, like teach me to be good at intimacy and like physical contact stuff, and I'll pay you. Well, I mean, of course they like, you know, like feelings get involved and all that stuff, but as cliche as most of it is, like the love story behind it, it makes you happy. Like I get really happy when people are happy in stories, and like, you know, when the writer is good and like when they can really make you feel the same feelings as the characters. Like I love that. It's not a trigger warning, but it's just like a warning in general, because I listened to the audiobook, and it gets pretty steamy, very vulgar sometimes, but I mean, it's kind of hot. But just, you know that before you go into it. Question number 12 is, what is your favorite review or booktube video that you've done this year? And that would be my monthly Big Book Challenge video, where I challenge myself to read one 500 plus page book a month, which I have failed. Wait, no, I did. I succeeded in June, but my May one, I DNF'd because it was not good. I gave it to like 200 pages and it was awful. So I'm going to have that linked below if you want to watch that. It'll be fun. All right. Question number 13. What is the most beautiful book that you have purchased this year? And that would be War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. It is beautiful. It's got that shine, got the bloods dripping, and then on the inside, so even if you take the dust jacket off, and then like this is plain Jane, whatever, but this, I mean, gosh, it's so lovely. And then it's the same on the back, but hey, actually, now that I think about it, I didn't technically fail May's Big Book Challenge, because I read this in May and it's well over 500 pages, obviously. I just thought of that, so yay. All right, and so question number 14, which is the last question of the tag, is what books do you plan to finish this year? And 2 of mine are going to be new releases in the fall, like end of summer, and I'm really excited for them. One of them is already out, but I really want to read it. So we'll start with that one. It is Fairest of All by Serena Valentino. Yeah, it looks really good, and of course it would appear to be like a play off of or actually about the Disney fairy tales, but it's told from the villain's perspective, which I think will be really interesting. So I can't wait to start that series. And I might wait until the fall because I don't know, it just feels right. Villains and stuff, you know. And then another book is To Be Honest by Maggie Ann Martin. And I actually can't even remember what that one's about right now. But I do remember when I read the synopsis, I was like, yes, I want to read that so badly. It has plus size representation, which I can relate to. And I do know it's something I'm really looking forward to, and it comes out on August 21st of this year. So if you're interested in it, that's when to look for it. And then finally, this one is probably my most anticipated book of this year, like coming out. But technically I couldn't put it on that other question because they said, what's your most anticipated sequel? And this one is a standalone, but is by one of my favorite authors in the world, which is Jodi Picoult. I read every other book of hers, except for Lone Wolf. I DNF'd Lone Wolf, but I think I'm going to give it another try because that was like 7 years ago or something like that. So I'm going to give it another try. But her newest book is called A Spark of Light, and it comes out, oh, I cannot remember. I want to say October or November. I'll put it on the screen somewhere, so look for it. But I'm excited for it. It is about I just read the synopsis for it again earlier, so I can give you pretty much it word for word. It is about a man who brings a gun into a woman's clinic and holds a bunch of people hostage. And when the police arrive, the chief of police gets a text, and it's pretty much his worst nightmare. His daughter is in the clinic being held hostage by this guy. And from the synopsis, it sounds like, you know, you just live, or you hear about the turmoil of the antagonist, the guy who takes everyone hostage, and you know, about everyone's stories and how they can come together. And then of course you find out if anyone dies or anything. But I'm really into that book, those kind of books. And thus concludes the mid-year book freakout tag, even though I know it's like a little bit late because we're in July now. This year is almost over. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Well, it's not almost over, but it's like this year is literally just like already over halfway through it. And raise your hand if you're ready for Christmas or fall or anything besides 100-degree weather with like 3,000% humidity, because that's me. I'm done with it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon, very soon. I promise. I'm coming at you with another video. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.